Welcome back to ABC General Hospital Spoilers channel. Today we will learn about the intriguing possibility that Jason Morgan could be the key figure in unmasking Veronica Ronnie Bard, the enigmatic woman claiming to be Monica Quartermain's long-lost sister. In the ever-twisting world of Port Charles, where family secrets simmer just beneath the surface of high society facades, Ronnie's sudden arrival has stirred up a storm of doubt and intrigue among the Quartermain clan. Her timely intervention in thwarting the PCPD's initial search of the Quartermain mansion during the investigation into Drew Cain's shooting painted her as a heroic ally, earning a nod of approval from Jason himself. Yet, beneath that surface-level acceptance lies a deeper undercurrent of suspicion, as Jason's sharp instincts rarely allow outsiders to slip through unnoticed. As viewers eagerly anticipate the fallout, this development hints at explosive revelations that could shatter long-held family bonds and redefine loyalties in dramatic fashion. Jason's cautious nature has always been a cornerstone of his character, making him the ideal candidate to peel back the layers of Ronnie's mysterious backstory without drawing unwanted attention. From his days as a mob enforcer to his current role navigating the complexities of personal life, Jason operates like a shadow, gathering intel with precision and patience that few can match. While he appeared outwardly supportive when Ronnie stepped in to protect the Quartermain estate, cleverly citing obscure property rights and family privacy clauses to stall the police, his eyes betrayed a flicker of wariness toward this so-called sibling Monica had never mentioned in decades of family gatherings. Imagine Jason in the dimly lit corners of his garage workshop, surrounded by tools and blueprints, methodically cross-referencing Ronnie's fabricated documents against old Quartermain records he's discreetly accessed through trusted contacts. This skepticism isn't born of paranoia alone, it's honed from years of betrayals in Port Charles, where even blood ties can conceal deadly deceptions. If Ronnie's tale unravels under his scrutiny, it could expose not just her identity but a web of ulterior motives tied to the ongoing Cain case, potentially implicating higher stakes like corporate espionage within ELQ Industries. Balancing his enigmatic investigation, Jason's life in Port Charles is a relentless juggle of fatherhood, allegiance, and guardianship that leaves little room for complacency. As a devoted single father to young Danny, whose innocent curiosity about his dad's adventures often leads to heartfelt late-night talks over pizza in their modest home, Jason prioritizes stability amid chaos. Danny's recent school project on family trees unwittingly sparked Jason's deeper dive into the Quartermains, reminding him how fragile legacies can be when imposters lurk nearby. Professionally, his unwavering loyalty to Sonny Corinthos demands constant vigilance, coordinating shipments under the cover of night, diffusing tensions in the waterfront warehouses, and ensuring the Corinthos empire's secrets remain buried. Yet, Jason's protective instincts extend far beyond business. He's the silent sentinel for Carly Spencer, whose fiery resilience masks vulnerabilities from past heartbreaks, often calling on him for late-night strategy sessions over coffee at Kelly's Diner. Jocelyn Jacks, with her bold spirit and budding independence, relies on Jason's guidance during university stresses and romantic entanglements, while Britt Westbourne's fragile health battles pull at his heartstrings, prompting covert arrangements for top specialists through his network. In this whirlwind, Ronnie's emergence feels like just another puzzle piece, but one that could threaten the women he holds dear if her loyalties prove false. Picture Jason pausing mid-conversation with Sonny, his phone buzzing with a tip from a hacker ally about Ronnie's overseas travel records, discrepancies that don't align with her polished narrative of a reclusive life abroad. Amid Jason's packed schedule, the onus might fall on Tracy Quartermain to ignite the spark of inquiry, leveraging her razor-sharp intuition and their shared family history to draw him in. Tracy, ever the epitome of Quartermain cunning with her trademark designer scarves and biting one-liners delivered over high tea at the mansion, has long embodied the clan's scheming legacy, from corporate takeovers to personal vendettas that keep ELQ's boardroom in perpetual turmoil. Yet, Jason has witnessed glimpses of her vulnerability, like the time she confided in him during a rare family holiday about her regrets over lost siblings, revealing a softer underbelly beneath the Ice Queen exterior. Ronnie's inheritance of the sprawling Quartermain estate, a gothic treasure filled with heirloom portraits and hidden vaults, has ignited Tracy's protective fury, transforming her unease into a calculated crusade. She might corner Jason during one of his visits to check on Monica, her voice dropping to a conspiratorial whisper in the echoing library. Jason, Monica's spun tales of lost kin before, but this one's got claws. She never breathed a word of Ronnie in all our bitter feuds or joyful reunions, not even during Father's eulogy. Tracy's conviction deepens when she recounts the suspicious Mickey slipped into Ronnie's tea, insisting it wasn't her doing but a planted frame to discredit the family, possibly linked to rivals eyeing Quartermain assets. This plea taps into Jason's sense of duty, motivating him to deploy his resources, Perhaps enlisting Spinelli for digital forensics or tailing Ronnie to a shady meeting at the haunted Star Casino, far beyond what casual curiosity demands. Tracy's outreach wouldn't stand alone, it builds on preliminary efforts by others in the family, underscoring why Jason's involvement could prove pivotal in cracking the case. Lulu Spencer, with her journalistic tenacity inherited from Laura, had already ventured into basic reconnaissance, poring over public records in the dimly lit Metro Court archives and chatting up old acquaintances from Ronnie's alleged hometown. Her discoveries, fuzzy photos of a woman resembling Ronnie at a long-forgotten European clinic, whispers of a name change tied to a minor scandal, hinted at inconsistencies but lacked the depth to confirm foul play. Lulu's approach, driven by personal stakes in the Kane shooting due to her ties to Dante, is admirable yet limited by her desk-bound methods and reliance on online databases that Ronnie's savvy could have scrubbed clean. Jason, contrastingly, thrives in the shadows, his network spanning from dockside informants to international fixers, allowing him to unearth buried truths like Ronnie's possible connections to a defunct pharmaceutical firm that once crossed paths with the Quartermaines during a patent dispute. This disparity elevates the stakes. If Jason uncovers evidence of Ronnie's fabricated lineage, perhaps forged birth certificates or alibis that crumble under polygraph scrutiny, it could validate Tracy's instincts and safeguard Monica from emotional devastation, who clings to Ronnie as a bridge to her estranged past. As the layers of deception peel away, Jason's potential exposé of Ronnie promises ripple effects across Port Charles, challenging the Quartermaine dynasty's foundations and intertwining with broader conflicts. Monica, often the emotional anchor of the family with her medical expertise and quiet wisdom, stands to suffer the most from betrayal, her joy at reuniting with a sister potentially turning to grief that echoes her losses with Alan and AJ. This twist could escalate tensions with Sonny's world, if Ronnie's scheme ties into corporate sabotage aimed at weakening ELQ to benefit mob-adjacent businesses. Inventive speculation suggests Jason might stumble upon a hidden diary in the mansion's attic, detailing Ronnie's true identity as a con artist with a grudge against the Quartermaines stemming from a botched investment scam decades ago, adding a personal vendetta to the mix. For the women under Jason's protection, the fallout might mean heightened security, Carly fortifying her Metro Court empire, Jocelyn navigating campus threats with renewed caution, and Britt seeking solace in Jason's steadfast presence during her treatments. Tracy's role evolves from agitator to ally, perhaps forging an unlikely partnership with Jason that humanizes her, while Lulu's efforts gain validation, boosting her confidence in future exposés. In the end, whether Jason's quiet probing yields the damning proof or forces Ronnie into a corner during a tense confrontation at the Quartermaine boathouse, his actions could herald a turning point in this saga of imposters and inheritances. Viewers are left pondering, will Ronnie's facade crumble under Jason's relentless pursuit, revealing a plot twist that ensnares the entire family in legal and emotional turmoil? Or might she counter with a revelation of her own, twisting the narrative to expose genuine Quartermaine skeletons? Next, we will learn about the explosive twists brewing in Port Charles as Carly Spencer gears up for her most daring deception yet against the cunning Jack Brennan. In the electrifying episode of General Hospital that aired on October 22, tension skyrocketed during Carly's secretive visit to the high-security confines of Steinmauer Prison. There, amid the cold steel bars and echoing corridors, she forged an unexpected partnership with the enigmatic Valentine Cassadine, a man whose own vendetta against Brennan runs as deep as the darkest family secrets in Port Charles. This alliance wasn't born of blind trust but from a shared thirst for justice. Valentine, still nursing grudges from his own run-ins with Brennan's shadowy operations, saw Carly as the perfect wildcard to tip the scales. As they huddled in a dimly lit visitation room, whispers of strategy filled the air, with Valentine outlining a psychological chess game designed to dismantle Brennan from the inside out. Carly, ever the resilient businesswoman who's weathered corporate battles and personal heartaches, nodded intently, her mind already racing through the potential pitfalls of such a high-stakes ploy. This collaboration marks a pivotal shift for Carly, transforming her from a lone operator into a key player in a larger web of intrigue that could ripple through the entire WSB network. Valentine's counsel to Carly was as sharp as a dagger, emphasizing the art of illusion in their revenge scheme. He urged her to immerse herself fully in the role of Brennan's devoted paramour, convincing him that no bond in her life could rival the one they shared. Picture Carly, with her signature fiery determination, channeling every ounce of charisma to paint Brennan as the center of her universe, lavishing him with affectionate gestures, late-night confessions, and subtle hints of a future together that dangled just out of reach. But Valentine warned that half measures wouldn't suffice. Brennan, a seasoned operative with a knack for spotting deceit, would sniff out any inconsistency like a bloodhound. To sell the performance, Carly must weave a narrative where her loyalty to Brennan eclipses even her closest ties, including the unbreakable connection she's maintained with her lifelong confidant, Jason Morgan. This advice draws from Valentine's own playbook of manipulation, honed through years of navigating Cassadine family dramas and international espionage, where emotions are weapons sharper than any blade. By adopting this facade, Carly isn't just playing a part, she's rewriting her emotional landscape on the fly, a testament to her adaptability in the face of betrayal. At the heart of this dilemma lies the profound, almost telepathic friendship between Carly and Jason, a relationship forged in the fires of Port Charles's endless crises, from high-speed chases and mob wars to quiet moments of unwavering support. Their bond has been the stuff of legend, often leaving others on the sidelines, much like how it complicated matters for Britt Westbourne during her tentative steps back toward romance with Jason. Britt, the brilliant doctor with a guarded heart, has long harbored reservations about rekindling things, citing Carly's perpetual priority in Jason's world as a red flag that screams emotional unavailability. Jason's loyalty to Carly isn't possessive but profound, rooted in decades of shared secrets, life-saving interventions, and a mutual understanding that transcends words. For Carly to execute Valentine's plan flawlessly, she'll need to eclipse this powerhouse duo in Brennan's eyes, perhaps by amplifying small annoyances into full-blown conflicts. Imagine the internal tug-of-war Carly faces: on one side, her strategic mind plotting the takedown; on the other, the genuine pull of her history with Jason, making every fabricated slight feel like a betrayal of their code. This dynamic adds layers of emotional depth, highlighting how personal loyalties can become casualties in the pursuit of larger victories. To truly hoodwink Brennan, Carly might orchestrate a theatrical confrontation with Jason, staging a meltdown so convincing it could rival the most dramatic courtroom scenes in Port Charles history. Envision the setup: a tense gathering at a neutral spot like the Floating Rib or Carly's Metro Court office, where Brennan lurks in the shadows, observing with his trademark smug assurance. Carly could erupt in a torrent of frustration, accusing Jason of meddling in her happiness and demanding he back off from her true love. She might declare, with theatrical flair, that if forced to choose, she'd pick Brennan without a second thought, her voice cracking just enough to sell the anguish, eyes flashing with feigned resentment. Jason, ever the stoic enforcer, would play along with a steely glare and cutting retorts, perhaps referencing past favors he's done for her as ammunition in the argument. This spectacle wouldn't just be words, it could escalate with slammed doors, overturned chairs, or even a stormy exit into the rain-slicked streets of Port Charles, all choreographed to feed Brennan's ego. Such a display would position him as the triumphant victor in Carly's affections, blind to the strings being pulled behind the curtain. Yet, the genius lies in its subtlety, Carly drawing from real-life tensions to infuse authenticity, ensuring the ruse feels organic rather than scripted. Of course, pulling off this charade demands precision, as Brennan's paranoia could turn the tables if Carly slips even slightly. One overzealous outburst or lingering glance toward Jason might spark his doubts, prompting him to dig deeper into her motives with his WSB connections. Carly will navigate this minefield by calibrating her performance, mixing genuine vulnerability with calculated affection toward Brennan, like surprise visits to his safe houses or whispered promises of exclusivity. This tightrope walk echoes Carly's past deceptions, such as her corporate maneuvers against rivals like Sonny's enemies, where timing and tone were everything. If successful, it fortifies her cover, allowing her to probe Brennan's weaknesses undetected. But the risk amplifies the thrill: a single misstep, and the entire alliance with Valentine crumbles, exposing Carly to retaliation that could endanger not just her, but those she holds dear like her daughter Jocelyn. Jason's role in this unfolding drama adds another layer of complexity, especially since he's already unburdened himself to Carly about Brennan's web of lies and Jocelyn's covert recruitment by the WSB. Fresh from that confession, Jason might sense Carly's ulterior motives the moment she hints at the staged rift, his intuitive nature picking up on the rehearsed edge to her anger. Without knowledge of Damian Spinelli's fabricated alias or her pact with Valentine, Jason could view this as reckless vigilantism, urging Carly to pull back before she invites more danger into their lives. Picture their private debrief: Jason, arms crossed in that classic brooding pose, expressing fears that Brennan's reach extends to federal threats or family-targeted schemes. Yet, Jason's devotion runs deep. He might reluctantly consent to the blow-up, scripting his lines to heighten the realism while planting subtle safeguards, like anonymous tips to keep tabs on Brennan. This cooperation underscores their synergy: Jason as the muscle and strategist, Carly as the emotional architect, potentially strengthening their alliance even as it appears fractured. In a twist of irony, Jason's involvement could inadvertently protect Jocelyn, steering her away from deeper WSB entanglements through back-channel warnings. As collateral excitement, this manufactured turmoil might inadvertently pave the way for Britt to bridge the gap with Jason, mistaking the fallout for a genuine fracture in his friendship with Carly. Britt, who's been rebuilding her life post-cancer battle and phase on family shadows, could see an opening to offer Jason solace, perhaps over coffee at GH or a quiet walk along the harbor, where she voices her long-suppressed feelings. This development would inject fresh romance into the mix, with Britt's vulnerability clashing against Jason's guarded heart, leading to heartfelt discussions about trust and second chances. Carly's betrayal becomes the catalyst, freeing Jason from perceived obligations and allowing Britt to step forward without the shadow of rivalry. Such a subplot enriches the narrative, blending revenge with redemption and reminding viewers why General Hospital excels at intertwining personal stakes with high-stakes plots. Fans might speculate on wedding bells or renewed conflicts, but for now, it teases the possibility of healing amid the chaos. Ultimately, Carly's path forward demands a spectacle of epic proportions to cement Brennan's misplaced confidence, turning the tide in her favor and unraveling his empire thread by thread. By weaponizing her bond with Jason in this bold maneuver, she not only advances the revenge but reaffirms her status as Port Charles's ultimate survivor. Next, we will learn about the intriguing possibility of Nathan West cracking the enigmatic case of Drew Kane's shooting, potentially paving his way back to the Port Charles Police Department. In the ever-twisting world of General Hospital, where secrets from the past often collide with present-day dangers, Nathan West emerges as a pivotal figure in unraveling one of the most pressing mysteries currently gripping Port Charles. Fans have long speculated about Nathan's return to the force after his dramatic disappearance 7 years ago, a period shrouded in shadows that left even his closest allies questioning his loyalty and survival skills. Anna Devane, the sharp-minded commissioner with a history of navigating international espionage, has been particularly cautious about reinstating him, citing the unresolved gaps in his timeline that could compromise ongoing operations. Imagine the internal conflict Anna faces. On one hand, Nathan's proven track record as a dedicated detective who once tackled cases involving mobsters and corporate intrigue. On the other, the lingering doubts fueled by whispers of his possible involvement in underground networks during his absence. Mac Scorpio, ever the pragmatic voice of reason at the PCPD, shares these reservations, emphasizing the need for concrete evidence before any badge is reissued. Yet, as the storyline unfolds, Nathan's determination shines through. He's not just seeking a job, but a redemption arc that could restore his reputation and family ties in the community. Nathan's eagerness to dive back into detective work is palpable, driven by a personal fire that has been smoldering since his unexplained vanishing act. During those lost years, rumors swirled through Port Charles about sightings of a man matching his description in shadowy dealings across state lines, perhaps entangled in a covert operation gone awry or even a self-imposed exile to protect loved ones from unseen threats. Anna's hesitation isn't unfounded. She recalls the chaos Nathan left behind, including unresolved threads from his time as an undercover operative that could resurface and endanger the department. However, the shooting of Drew Kane, a resilient Quartermaine heir whose life has been a whirlwind of military secrets, political ambitions, and romantic entanglements, presents Nathan with the perfect opportunity to prove his mettle. By piecing together clues like ballistics reports, witness statements from the dimly lit docks where the attack occurred, and digital footprints tracing back to potential suspects, Nathan could demonstrate that his skills remain as honed as ever. This isn't merely about solving a crime, it's a calculated bid to convince Anna and Mac that his absence forged him into an even sharper investigator, ready to confront Port Charles's underbelly without hesitation. As upcoming episodes tease a heartfelt reconnection between Nathan and Lulu Spencer, the dynamics shift in ways that could propel the investigation forward with emotional depth. Lulu, the resilient journalist whose own life has been marked by journalistic pursuits and turbulent relationships, finds herself drawn back to Nathan after years of separation, their shared history evoking memories of intense collaborations on past cases. This reunion isn't just nostalgic, it ignites a spark of trust that leads Lulu to confide in him about her growing concerns over the Drew Kane incident. She's starting to see Willow Tate in a more sympathetic light, recognizing the young nurse's vulnerabilities amid the accusations flying her way, perhaps influenced by Willow's quiet dedication to patient care at General Hospital and her own struggles with hidden family secrets. Conversely, Lulu's suspicions toward Michael Corinthos deepen, fueled by his evasive behavior during recent interrogations and his ties to the powerful Corinthos empire, which often blurs lines between business and crime. In this expanded narrative, envision Lulu sketching out timelines on a notepad during a late-night coffee meetup with Nathan, highlighting inconsistencies in Michael's alibi that point to a larger conspiracy involving corporate rivalries. Delving deeper, the potential exoneration of Willow Tate carries profound implications for Nina Reeves and her long-estranged daughter, adding layers of familial drama to the core mystery. Nina, the fierce media mogul whose life has been a roller coaster of redemptions and betrayals, would find immense relief if Nathan uncovers evidence shifting blame away from Willow, evidence like encrypted messages on a burner phone or surveillance footage capturing a shadowy figure with motives tied to Drew's recent business ventures. Willow, caught in the crossfire of this accusation, embodies the innocence Nina has fought to reclaim in their fractured mother-daughter bond, especially after revelations about hidden medical histories and adoption twists that have tested their fragile reconciliation. For Nina, this case isn't abstract, it's a chance to shield her child from scandal, potentially strengthening their relationship through shared advocacy. Nathan, sensing the personal stakes, draws motivation from this angle, viewing the investigation as a bridge to not only professional reinstatement but also mending his own fractured connections in Port Charles society. Picture him poring over case files in a dimly lit apartment, cross-referencing Willow's hospital shifts with the shooting timeline, uncovering alibis that align suspiciously with other players in the Quartermain circle. Of course, Nathan's probe into Drew's shooting must unfold in the shadows, as an unofficial endeavor without the backing of his former badge, heightening the tension and risk involved. Lacking official resources like forensic labs or subpoena powers, he'll rely on old contacts, perhaps a hacker ally from his undercover days or informants in the waterfront bars, to gather intel discreetly. This clandestine approach mirrors classic noir detective tales, where every lead pursued in secrecy could either illuminate the truth or entangle him in greater peril, such as run-ins with Sonny Corinthos enforcers who guard their territories fiercely. Anna's watchful eye looms large. One misstep, like tampering with evidence or confronting suspects aggressively, could seal his fate out of the force permanently. Yet, if Nathan navigates these boundaries with the precision of a seasoned pro, methodically interviewing peripheral witnesses, analyzing security camera anomalies from the night of the shooting, and decoding cryptic notes left at the scene, he stands to emerge victorious. This unofficial status, while limiting, also frees him from bureaucratic red tape, allowing innovative tactics like staking out potential hideouts under the cover of night or leveraging Lulu's press credentials for insider access. The true power of Nathan's involvement lies in his innate detective prowess, a toolkit refined through years of high-stakes pursuits that could swiftly dismantle the facade surrounding Drew's assailant. Envision him reconstructing the crime scene in his mind, the muffled gunshot echoing off warehouse walls, Drew's determined struggle post-attack, and the assailant's hasty escape route leading toward the harbor. By applying forensic intuition to overlooked details, like a discarded glove with unique fiber traces or a partial license plate from a getaway vehicle, Nathan could pinpoint the real perpetrator, perhaps a disgruntled ELQ board member harboring grudges over Drew's leadership decisions or an external operative tied to international syndicates. Exonerating Willow would ripple through Port Charles, clearing her name and exposing the web of deceit that framed her, while delivering justice to the chaos's architect. This success wouldn't just resolve the immediate case, it would spotlight Nathan's enduring qualities as a cop: integrity, persistence, and an unerring sense of right, qualities that Anna and Mac can't ignore. In a broader analysis of his character arc, Nathan's journey here symbolizes resilience, transforming personal voids into professional triumphs, much like other GH heroes who've risen from ashes to reclaim their destinies. Excitement buzzes around Nathan's potential reunion with the PCPD, a milestone that could redefine his future amid the soap's relentless drama. The badge represents more than authority, it's a symbol of belonging, pulling him back into the fold of colleagues like Dante Falconeri, with whom he shares a brotherly camaraderie forged in past busts. Yet, success hinges on unraveling Drew's case without collateral damage. Will hidden alliances fracture under scrutiny, or will unforeseen betrayals derail his progress? As spoilers hint at labyrinthine twists, including red herrings that implicate unlikely allies and revelations about Drew's classified past, Nathan's quest promises pulse-pounding developments. Perhaps a clandestine meeting with an anonymous tipster unveils a motive linked to Carly Spencer's business empire, or forensic breakthroughs tie the shooting to a larger pattern of corporate sabotage. Viewers can't look away as these elements converge, testing Nathan's resolve and setting the stage for explosive confrontations. In the end, his path back to crime-solving glory dangles tantalizingly close, contingent on outsmarting the shadows that have long obscured the truth. According to the latest ABC General Hospital spoilers, the enigma of Drew Kane's shooter is primed for jaw-dropping revelations, with Nathan West at the epicenter of the storm. Stay tuned as this narrative spirals into uncharted territory, where every clue unearthed could shatter alliances and redefine loyalties in Port Charles. Whether Nathan secures his spot on the force or faces new obstacles remains to be seen, but one thing is certain: his detective instincts are about to ignite a firestorm of justice and intrigue.